Welcome, everybody. Today we have the amazing Nelson Avalos, aka Pixel Geek, with us after he has made the very important decision to leave Webflow after how many years?
8 years, 2 months.
8 years, 2 months. And we just want to hear the story. And then I have a few questions. And then whichever uh, participant, whoever wants to also ask questions, please drop them in the chat or we can chat afterwards. We don't want to take too much of your time, but in the chat would be great. And then whatever else you want to tell us, we're more than happy to absorb and learn because there's so many people also trying to do the same thing. So yeah, tell us a little bit of why this happened.
Yeah. A lot of people have been asking me that, and I've finally figured it out. It's because my heart and mind weren't aligned. At the beginning of the year, I was coming off of a high. I did the speed build challenge. I was on stage. I felt so comfortable, so confident, the most confident I felt in my life. And seeing you all, the Webflow community, and just it was such a high. And so then it was winter break, and then we're back on it. And I'm getting ready for the next speed build, and I'm getting ready for the next live stream. And then Aaron comes in and he helps with the live streams, and we start making up a agenda of like, he'll take 1 week, I'll take the other. He'll take 1 week, I'll take the other. And it was just like, yes, things are flowing. Cool. And during Q1 or Q2, during Q1, end of Q1, Emily asked me a very important question. She said, all right, we're gonna have to pause on speed build because we still need to figure out what we're gonna do for WebflowConf. We want to do something big. And you already know it's pretty big, 4 cities. So they were planning something big, so hold off on planning speed build. Cool. And we got the live streams going. Cool. Now here's the question for you, Nelson. What else do you want to do now that you have a little bit more time? And when Nelson doesn't know what's next, Nelson freaks out. I always need to know what's coming up next. I always need to do something else. I like to keep myself challenged. And when I wasn't sure what was next, I had to think about it. I said, I don't know what to put on my Q2 plan. I don't know. And a week goes by because she says, okay, tell me. And when Nelson doesn't know what's next, Nelson freaks out. I always need to know what's coming up next. I always need to do something else. I like to keep myself challenged. And when I wasn't sure what was next, I had to think about it. I said, I don't know what to put on my Q2 plan. I don't know. And a week goes by because she says, okay, tell me next week. Tell me next week. Fine. So I think about it over the weekend, think about it through the week, and then our next one-on-one comes along. And she's like, have you thought about it? I'm like, yes, I figured it out. I want to do something for kids. And if no code is the future, how did we forget that kids are part of that future? And you might have seen me going into this type of space with my last streams in the studio. I would come in with a Mario hat and doing something for the rebuilding the Super Mario start screen in Flexbox and Grid. And I would come out of a pipe. Or for May the 4th, I bought a Jedi robe. I bought Jedi robes off of Amazon, and I brought my lightsaber just for intro. I just want it to be more fun, more like a kid. And as I kept thinking about this, I'm like, yeah, I want to teach for kids. So let's put a kids curriculum together, right? But more and more I realized as I'm making this happen, I'm like, this is being put on the back burner. I need to do other stuff, but I still care for kids, but I need to put it in the back burner. And so it got to the moment where it's like, when your heart and mind are aligned, your heart is screaming, but then your mind is the logical one trying to be like, I don't know what you're saying, heart. I don't get it. And I think everyone here who's a creative has been through that, where you're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm having anxiety. Like I want something else, but I don't know what it is. Right? I see some nods. Um yeah. And so I kept dealing with that, trying to figure myself out, trying to reflect what is going on. Um and then finally uh Emily noticed that in me. She was like, I know you, Nelson. I know you want more. And um she said, what if you did Webflow part-time? Scared me so much because I'm like, in my life, my whole 20 years of working, I've always been an in-house developer, in-house web designer. I was always too scared to go freelance full time. So my comfort zone is, no, I'm going to stay here. And plus, in America, medical benefits, you know, super important. And I always kept thinking, I don't know how to do this. Can I survive on my own? Can I trust myself? And my whole life, I don't trust myself, you know. And it just get to the point where my whole childhood was like not believing in myself.
Can I
And
interrupt you?
yeah, go for it.
I actually have a question here, which
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe some people are going to question.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you build up a cash cushion? And did you have a plan? Like, when you thought, okay, this is a possibility, were you ready for it? Or, like, how did you approach that?
Honestly, no. This is a huge jump, but I I've made a big enough network, and I didn't even mean to. I made a big enough network where people are like, "Oh, Nelson, you have time. You know how to use Webflow. Can you do my project?" My first project is with someone who used to work at Webflow, and he's like, "There's no one else I trust to help bring this project to the finish line than you. So here." And I'm like, "Well, let's go." So before I left, I did have 3 plans, and I said that in my outro video. I had, uh, helping, evolving my YouTube channel, which is going to be mainly for kids and adults who think like kids. The second thing is setting up the agency with my wife. Say hi. Oh, she has headphones on. She's actually working on the site right now. And the third thing is Project Ophelia. And so I didn't have a cash cushion, but I had enough to survive for a couple months, saved, and it just pushed me back against the wall. Yeah, there was tears, there was anxiety that night when I had to tell my wife. It was bad, and it was the talk I didn't want to have. Um, I had some CBD oil before I got the news from HR and Emily. Like, here's the plan, Nelson. I'm like, okay, all right, I got it. So, thanks to Dad Grass on that one. But Glenn is saying very brave. Um, I don't think it was bravery. It was more just like okay, it is bravery. Yeah. I had to evolve myself. I had to get out of my comfort zone in order to make it happen. And going back to, I didn't believe myself. It was the whole childhood of like, no, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. And that's the whole Asian parenting and probably a lot of parenting. It's like, you're not good enough. Do better. You're not good enough. Do better.
Yeah, Isabel actually is writing here. I wonder how long it took you to come to this decision if it wasn't for the prompt from Emily. And I have never told you this, but I don't know why I had this feeling like you were kind of like in this crossroad where you wanted to do more,
Hmm.
but you didn't really like know how to like cross to that other part of the or the other side of the bridge, I guess, without maybe like hurting your colleagues or even Vlad. Like you and Vlad have basically done this from the beginning, so I felt like there was just something there. So how did you overcome that fear, not only from your colleagues, but you have 18,000.8 followers on YouTube, on Twitter. I'm sure more people follow you. So like maybe like fearful that people would judge. So like how did you navigate that?
I don't like to look at numbers. I like to look at humans. And when I see 18,000 YouTube subscribers, when I see X amount of Twitter followers, etc., those are all vanity to me. The one person who's feeling down or is confused, if I can help that person smile, that makes my day. Now, obviously, that doesn't pay the bills. And so I think your question was, how did I get to the other side? How do I get over the anxiety?
Yeah, and also navigating that whole thing with like your colleagues that you were leaving and like maybe feeling like, oh, I'm gonna let them down. Like you were such an important part of the organization that you leaving was like a big dent. So like, how did you navigate that as well?
Yeah, I had some DMs with some people. I had to play. I remember talking to Bartosz. He still works at Webflow, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I'm failing. It got to a point where so much anxiety that it's like anxiety paralyzing or something, where you feel like it's so much work, but it's not really. But in your head, you can't do something. Like I, I was at a point where I'm like, I I can't do this Google Doc. I can't write stuff in a Google sheet for some reason. I don't want to, but I know I have to, and I know it'll get the ball moving on this one task. And so it got to the point where I'm talking to Bartosz. I was talking to Skylar too. I see him here. Hi, Skylar. Hi, buddy. And talking to other colleagues, Aaron too, and mostly Emily. She was the one who, you know, um, supported me in all this. And yeah, I would basically vent and cry to them. And for Bartosz, he's like, "Hey, you know what? Let's not think about it. Let's play online golf." Okay, cool. Let's just do something else. And they're my support system. They're the ones who listened, and I'm very grateful for them. And the thing that really helped ease anxiety even more was Emily saying, "You have so many people who want to see you succeed." Basically vent and cry to them. And for Bartosz, he's like, "Hey, you know what? Let's not think about it. Let's play online golf." Okay, cool. Let's just do something else. And they're my support system. They're the ones who listened, and I'm very grateful for them. And the thing that really helped ease anxiety even more was Emily saying, "You have so many people who want to see you succeed." And at that moment, I'm like, I don't see it, because in my head is that whole generational trauma of, no, you're not going to succeed. Why even do it? No, no, stay where you are, stay in your lane, don't do anything different. And that's the thing I've been fighting my whole life. But when I, what really, really helped me get over the anxiety was when I posted the tweet that I'm leaving. I didn't expect, probably expected like 5 responses, 10, but like all those people congratulating me and supporting me, and all of you here, I'm like, what? I know I just helped some of you. I probably talked to some of you. Again, I'm not about numbers. I'm about humans, and all of you just showed up and said, "Welcome, Nelson." And I'm like, tears. Like, what is going on? I
Well,
didn't.
I can answer that question for everybody here, and me included, and I know everybody here, just a little interlude here. You have been responsible for us learning Webflow, like literally like learning it and creating a new life, new income stream, if it's a side job or our main income. So of course we're going to support you, and we always will. So just wanted to leave that there, just so you know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We're here for you. I see the chat. We're here for you, Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't make me cry again. I was crying while leaving Webflow, and then is cry. They even made a goodbye video for me. The Webflow team. Like, I'm like, stop. Not
So
enough tears.
when was like the moment that you said you like tell us exactly the moment where you decided to do it? Like,
It was multiple moments. So the first moment was Emily planting that seed in my head. What if you worked part-time at Webflow? What would Nelson do? And that freaked me out. But then that seed started to grow more and more. And then as I'm thinking about it, like, I want to do the kids thing. And I've actually uh on the side started to make a music video for kids to talk about the box model with Casey Catalbus, John D. Saunders, and Jeff McAvoy, who's doing the animations. And as I keep watching that, that's like a little side project that's been going on because I still feel that I need to teach for the kids. As I keep watching that and I play that for my daughter, and she's singing the song because I played it multiple times and she knows the words, and I'm like, that seed of working part-time at Webflow is just growing more and more. Hi Jeff, yay, Jeff's here. Yeah, such a fun project. Love working with him. If you need an animator, like, that's your guy right there. Giving you a shout out, Jeff. But yeah, so the seed's growing, and so it's not just one moment. It was multiple moments, and thanks to Emily for planting the seed. So yeah, inception type of thing, where finally I'm saying it out loud, not just to myself. Like, what if I did work at part time? What other things would I want to do? And then as the seed grew, thinking, what would I do with this extra time? I'm like, I want to go back to being a kid that builds things. I want to go back to 2013 when I first learned about Webflow and just build. I with no expectations. Let me just build something. And then it got me into the headspace of, if I had more time, I could work with Jessica more. If I had more time, I can work on something else. What is that something else? Oh, Project Ophelia. And more, that seed grew to, yeah, you need to go. You need to leave Webflow. And it was that moment. It was those combination of moments that made my head realize what the heart was saying. The heart was saying, go back to your roots. Go back to what you love. Go back to learning Webflow and not just building on it, but build and learn and grow even more. And yeah, I think that was it.
that is so cool. Yeah. I feel like I'm completely different because I like wake up one day, I'm like, I want to change my life. I'm moving to London. I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it's completely different. So it's so interesting to see it from like your point of view, that it was like more like, okay, like what can I do? So what are the options? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's harder for a parent to do that, to be
Right.
like, hey, let's just up and leave, because there's like, you have to, if we were to say go to a different country, okay, what's life going to be there like? What school is going to be like for our daughter and whatnot? So, but when you don't have those responsibilities, I think it's easier, and that's part of the anxiety of like leaving such a wonderful company like Webflow. Is just like, okay, I have to think about all these things, and that was a lot of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with the support of the community, who said, "Hey, Nelson, I got some projects for you," it made it easier on the other side. It's just that you just can't see it through the fog,
Right.
you know.
Right. So basically the advice for people is, if you have, let's say, 2 months of runway to support yourself, and Webflow, but you had been working on your corporate job, just make sure you open yourself up on social media and stuff so you can start getting jobs, and then that way you can fund your side hustle or your dream.
Yeah, I mean, there is that overlap thing where you do your side hustle and gets to the point where your side hustle is making more than your main job, and that's when you can switch.
Yeah.
But also your personal brand and your network. I don't focus on my personal brand. I don't focus on my network, but it just became natural for me to be a nerd back in 2013 of saying, "Hey, have you learned about Webflow? Oh my god. Hey, have you learned about Webflow? Oh my god." And that's that's my personal brand. Just a nerd who got tangled in this Webflow stuff early enough, and I just got lucky, and that naturally grew my brand and my network to the point where I can land sort of safely. If I left Webflow, someone would want to hire me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Emily said too in our one-on-one. She's like, Delson, someone's gonna want you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. And obviously, when I was in that mental headspace,
Hopefully it's
I
not
was always,
Framer.
what?
Hopefully it's not Framer.
Nope, I'm hired by her right now.
I have to say it. Sorry.
Actually, it's Dreamweaver. I'm going to Adobe. Sorry. I remember back in 2012 or 2013 or no, 2014, they were coming up with a new software called Adobe Reflow. And they had representatives.
Hopefully it's not Framer.
Nope, I'm hired by her right now.
I have to say it. Sorry.
Actually, it's Dreamweaver. I'm going to Adobe. Sorry. I remember back in 2012 or 2013 or no, 2014, they were coming up with a new software called Adobe Reflow. And they had representatives come to the office to try to sell us on this new software. And they were saying it's the next evolution of Dreamweaver. And I was like, have you heard of Webflow? And they're like, no, what is that? And I was like, And I kept comparing them to Webflow.
No offense, but of course they didn't know. Come on. They're like in 2001
Yeah.
still. I want to highlight something that Penny said. She said, it's much more than luck that got you there. You
Come to the office to try to sell us on this new software. And they were saying it's the next evolution of Dreamweaver. And I was like, have you heard of Webflow? And they're like, no, what is that? And I was like, And I kept comparing them to Webflow.
No offense, but of course they didn't know. Come on. They're like in 2001 still. I want to highlight something that Penny said. She said, it's much more than luck that got you there. You made it happen every step of the way. It's very hard to create content, but because you are just so passionate about sharing your gospel in a way, like it just comes natural to you. So you don't really see that effort, I guess. Or I don't know if you're trying to be like subtle, but it is a lot of work. And you've done it
It,
for years.
yes, it is. It is a lot of work, and it was just me being a nerd and being passionate about helping people, and that fills my cup. Helping one person a day, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and we all love those reactions when you show someone how to do something, or you show someone something cool, and they're like, "What? That's so cool!" And then they learn, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" And you love seeing the eyes just light up.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically my brand. It's just like, isn't it cool? Yeah, awesome. And then that fills my cup. As far as the luck goes, it's this quote that I just put in chat, that Jessica told me about. I believe luck is preparation meeting opportunity. If you hadn't been prepared when the opportunity came along, you wouldn't have been lucky. So I've been preparing. Yeah, it's much more than luck, and I didn't realize it, but I've been preparing for this my whole life. I've been planting seeds by helping people. I've been planting seeds by being a nerd and just wanting to share what I've learned. I didn't realize it, but I've been doing build in public before build in public was a trend.
Mhm.
Um, and just showing my true self and being my true self as much as possible. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so what's gonna happen now? So what's the 9 to 5 right now? What are you doing? And then share with us whatever new projects you're working on.
So yeah, 9 to 5 is working on client projects, working on Project Ophelia, and getting the agency launched and writing scripts for my YouTube videos that are coming up. Um, yeah, so a lot, but I'm just taking each one piece by piece, and I think my main focus right now is launching Project Ophelia, and I've been learning a lot while building it. I'm so excited to build it because I'm learning how to use Make finally. I feel like I'm just catching up to the rest of y'all. I'm learning Make. I'm learning Stripe and Airtable. So
Zano. Zano is incredible. Like Make, Zano, Webflow, Airtable. Insane.
I haven't even got into Xano yet. Like, so I feel like I'm behind the curve, but like I'm fine with that because I'm learning. But I want to get to the point where, like, yeah, I have to move everything to Xano, or I have to hire real developers and make a whole, like, I don't know, a real web app for this. I want to get to that point. But with this MVP, I'm just having fun, and the whole goal of it is just to help people help people. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So what do you do? Like is it weird? Well, I guess you always worked from home, so it's
Yeah.
kind of felt the same, but like is it cool that like you don't actually have to show up to meetings? And I'm sure it's a refresher, no?
It's not any different. It's just I get to pick and choose. I get to pick and choose where my time goes, and I get to put more of my heart into something, and not have an expectation. And the only expectation is me learning and helping someone. That's it. I'm not here for like constant growth. I'm here to grow others. I'm not here for like, all right, how can we 10x this? How can we get more clicks, likes, like numbers?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always afraid of numbers, and I guess it's because how I grew up. I was always scared of school grades. I never did good in school. Um,
Really?
oh, I almost didn't graduate high school. My
Yeah, I
my
feel because me too.
Yeah, school is not for everyone, but yet American school systems is you must learn like this. You must be a robot, and if you don't learn in this way, then you're failing. And it's like kids don't learn the same way, and we're learning more and more. At least in America, which I'm super happy about for my daughter, is everyone has different mental health issues, and we've recently learned that our daughter has um was it ADHD, ADD, um, inattentive ADD. Um, and the more I'm learning it through her, the more I'm like, that's what's wrong with me. But but I'm like, it's nothing wrong. It's this superpower that I have where my ADD heart's like, okay, cool, you accomplished this, do something else. And my brain's like, no, slow down. But then when they align, it's like, oh my God, this is fun. We're learning something new. We're a kid again. Let's go do something different. Yeah. Ooh, squirrel.
Huh?
Sorry, ADD.
Actually, Maria and Pierre, they're saying like same. I think a lot of us. I'm noticing. I may also have ADHD because I don't know what the difference is ADD with ADHD,
Yeah, no. Oh
but
no, I'm just
I
learning.
cannot keep it together. Like I'm all over the place. I'm doing 1,000 things at the same time, and then I don't finish, and then I have to go into the next one. It's just like so chaotic.
Yeah. No difference. ADD is the old name. Okay, so ADHD. It's a spectrum with some inattentive, some more hyperactive, mix of both. Yeah. So, that's why I love web design, web development. There's always something new, new technology, new way of doing stuff, new CSS property. I mean, overflow clip. Hello, amazing.
What's that?
Uh, if you ever have a horizontal scroll bar, rather than doing overflow dash X hidden or something like that, which then breaks any of your position stickies, you can
Right?
solve it with overflow clip.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
learned it from Timothy Rick's tweet or something, and it's those little things. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. I want to try that. And now with more time, I get to try things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, someone here has a question. Do you think you'll check out Framer in the long run now that you are not affiliated with Webflow? And will you forever stick to our side, the Webflow side?
Yeah, I mean, now with this time, I still hold the Webflow flag high. It has helped me in my journey. Now, I'm still going to build in Webflow, but that's not to say when I have time after these 3 big launches, I'm going to experiment with other stuff. These are new toys. I want to try them out. I want to see what's on the other side of the fence. Yes, I will try Framer. Yes, I will try Editor X. I will try Web Studio. I will try all these things because if there's something to help me grow, then I'm gonna use it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try it out. When it comes to like platforms or being a fan of a platform, you shouldn't shun anyone who's using something different because in the end we're serving other humans. If the other human is like, I need this built in WordPress and you can do it,
Why not?
why not? Especially if people have their legacy data in WordPress and they can't leave, and you have the skills and the tools to help them. That's the main point.
Mhm.
Help them. Now, is one better than the other?
Well, I
I don't
think
know.
each one has its own thing.
Yeah.
I actually got a request from a client yesterday to build on Show It. I guess like my style is very like that vibe. And I was like, I'm down. Like I've been seeing it on TikTok a lot. So why not?
What is Show It?
It's like sort of like Squarespace. It's more like building blocks, like easier.
I'm looking at the page right now.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
drop, like Christine Maggie says.
All right.
Yeah, the platform Maria says should be the dictated by the project.
I
Mhm.
like that. Exactly.
Yep. Okay, so what give me the your top two advices for people that are looking to take the leap of faith from their corporate job or their just 9 to 5 to freelance.
It is such a personal um decision. And if I were to give advice, it's a lot of therapy, a lot of self-reflection. Try to figure out why your heart and mind aren't aligned. There's something. And we were talking about this on the Flow Walkers, like passion versus purpose. You know, um, find your purpose. I think when your heart and mind aren't aligned, that means you've lost your purpose, or you've already got to one purpose. Now, what's the next one? And so, again, going back to the story with Emily, she asked me, "What do you want to do now?" And I didn't have a purpose at that point. It's like, what? I I don't know. I don't know. And when I found the next purpose, I found my next evolution. Um, so find that purpose first, and then what are the steps to get to that purpose? Write those down, you know. And when we're talking flow walkers, purpose versus passion, you need both. And your passion is that overall end goal, and the purpose is that ebbs and flow of like you wanting to wake up in the morning and like, yeah, I want to get there. And then one day you're like, nah, I don't feel like it. But it's okay to not feel like it. But as long as it just keeps going towards that goal, to that passion that you want, then I think, it'll make that jump easier for you. So, but also there's other factors, like I said, medical benefits, kids, your partner, your lifestyle. There's things that need to be changed. No more Starbucks for me. But that saves a lot of money. But yeah, it's a lot of change, a lot of self-reflection you got to do before making the jump. And um that journey to it is going to be so much easier when you've helped and networked with a lot of people, because then they'll, just like you all, support you in your journey. Because, and again, what I didn't realize, they want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you fall down. And if the person who is looking at you and they're like, "Ha, you fell," then that's not the vibe. That's not the energy you want. Get out of that group and find another one. And that's why the Webflow community, no code community, Flow Party, I mean, you all are wonderful people because you care about each other. And like Vlad always says, a rising tide lifts all ships. And thank you all for lifting my ship, lifting my heart. And it's beautiful to see you all.
I feel like this, like, I don't know, like I told you, like it's like one of those interviews with Oprah when like something huge happens and like everybody's like, okay, so let's open the floor. Unmute you guys. And if you have any questions for Nelson, something that maybe you're wondering, if you want to do the same jump, or if you just have a question for him, feel free to unmute yourselves. I feel Gabriel has
Yeah, I do. I mean, hi again. Hey, Nelson. I haven't seen your videos that much. Like back in the beginning, I used to like I saw a few of them, but I didn't catch up. Like with your vibe. But just like in this little moment, like I don't know, like 20 minutes, dude, you are incredible. Like I love like the way you're talking and how you're talking about like all your process to come like to this point. So my question is, because you were talking about purposes, do you think you actually change purpose, or was it that you just limited your purpose, meaning you stated your let's say it's not a bad thing, of course, and you actually, for me, it's like, oh my god, you have actually done so many things that we desired, for example, like working at Webflow, the whole videos, and you're saying that you still have those fears. So it's like, is it that your purpose changed, or you're just limited to, oh, I'm just gonna stay at this company, when you actually want to keep helping people? Like it haven't changed from an outside perspective.
So again, yeah, we talked about passion versus purpose in our flow walks, and um, realizing that my passion has evolved, and everyone's passions evolve and change depending on where you are in life. And we're joking about it. Um, when I was a kid, my passion at the time was watching the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What's coming up next? Oh my gosh, wait, they're going to have a movie with Vanilla Ice? I need to watch that. That's my passion. Oh my gosh. But then you get older and your passions evolve into something else. When I learned about GeoCities and HTML, AOL member pages, I'm like, whoa, I can write code to make this text bold. What is this? What is this B tag? What is this? What is this HR tag for horizontal rule? In my passion became gosh, but then you get older and your passions evolve into something else. When I learned about GeoCities and HTML, AOL member pages, I'm like, whoa, I can write code to make this text bold. What is this? What is this B tag? What is this? What is this HR tag for horizontal rule? In my passion became learning how to make web pages on GeoCities, and so it just evolved. For this new passion, it's similar to what I've been doing since I learned making web pages. It's just, ooh, look at this new thing. Look at this thing. It's called Flash. Have you heard about it? You can make animations on the web, and just evolve to, hey, have you heard of Dreamweaver? Have you heard of XYZ? Learning how to make web pages on GeoCities. And so it just evolved. For this new passion, it's similar to what I've been doing since I learned making web pages. It's just, ooh, look at this new thing. Look at this thing. It's called Flash. Have you heard about it? You can make animations on the web, and just evolve to, hey, have you heard of Dreamweaver? Have you heard of XYZ? And so stuff like that. And helping people also learn how to do that. So helping people has always been that main passion, but the evolution of it was helping my friends and nerding out about it back in the days of dial-up, to helping people learn about Webflow, and to now what I see Flow Party, FinSuite Pro, and all these other communities growing naturally. It's like, well, that's awesome. What's next? What is the evolution of that? And I kid you not, at the old Webflow San Diego studio, whenever I leave, it's right next to an autism therapy center for kids. And I would leave every time after rehearsal or after a stream, and there's kids running around. And I see them, and I always wonder, what if we gave kids more opportunities? What if we gave them the tools to make a positive change? because they don't learn in the same way. So what if we can help them learn and make a positive change in the world, maybe using no code tools? And that's where my passion evolved. So yeah.
Cool. Love it.
Nice.
That's how we kind of learned as well, like with Dreamweaver.
Yeah, I think it just evolves. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I feel like my cutoff time, and not to answer like the question, this is just like chatter, but
But you can answer. Why not? Yeah.
I feel like my cutoff for passions are 2 years. At the 2 year mark, I have to evolve. Like, it's crazy. But when I've seen my life, everything has lasted 2 years where I'm like, okay, I need to learn something new. You know what I mean? I need to maybe change my job because I feel I can do more now, you know? And it doesn't mean like I'm leaving it like thrown away. No, like I have this like drive where I'm like, I need to get to the top level. Like, that's just like how I am. It's a little annoying, but you know.
Isn't it hard as well when you try that? You know, because you're every 2 years you're just moving constantly. I mean, some people might say that I am in that way. Like, I cannot stay, for example. That's why I don't have a, like a regular job. I can't. It's like 1 year and I'm already like, oh Jesus, I want to move cities. Like, I want to move like different place, different people, different language, different culture. Like,
Little annoying, but
isn't it hard as well when you try that? Because you're every 2 years you're just moving constantly. I mean, some people might say that I am in that way. Like, I cannot stay, for example. That's why I don't have a, like a regular job. I can't. It's like 1 year and I'm already like, oh Jesus, I want to move cities. Like, I want to move like different place, different people, different language, different culture. Like, do it.
well, for me, it was more like I and now with all this talk about manifestation, where you can manifest your dreams if you talk about them and work towards them every day. I feel like I mentally set myself up for the situations. So, like, an example was I was working in a manufacturing company just when I left college. It was this huge jewelry manufacturing company. And when I came, I came as a data entry employee. I was getting paid $12 an hour. And I was sitting in front of the head of designer, the director of designer accounts. So she was basically sitting with jewelry designers, creating collections for them every season. Obviously, you know how I love fashion. So I would sit in front of her and I would look at her and see everything she did. And I started learning her job to the T. And then I would just go to her office and be like, hey, do you want me to run this out? Or you want me to do this? You want me to do that? I basically was just like kissing her butt all day because I really wanted to be her assistant. That was at that time. Then something catastrophic happened. I don't want to say it here because obviously this is streamed, but something really, really bad happened. She left the company and they offered me her job. So I went from $12 an hour to, it was like $65,000 a year at that time. And I started having my dream job working with jewelry designers and learning manufacturing. So throughout my career, that's what I've done. Something catastrophic happened. I don't want to say it here because obviously this is streamed, but something really, really bad happened. She left the company and they offered me her job. So I went from $12 an hour to, it was like $65,000 a year at that time. And I started having my dream job working with jewelry designers and learning manufacturing. So throughout my career, that's what I've done. Like, I've kind of like put myself in those situations. And then suddenly destiny just like boom, like throws it. So I feel it's that like that quote you sent that Jess sent to you, the lucky part.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you're a fan of something and you show your true self and it's not fake, um, those opportunities will come to you because it's your true self and you're like, I want to learn more. I want to learn more about this. Um, and you just keep gravitating to that. And so those opportunities will come to you if you're real about it.
Well,
Mhm.
they're just there, and then you're gonna be able to see them.
Mm.
Because that's probably the whole problem, right? Because they're there. It's like you could always take this leap of faith because you already started it in that leap of faith. You said it 2015. So it was always there, you know? That's why my question was like, do you think you actually limited your dream at that point? And then it was like, no, I cannot. Like you open
Yeah.
it to that, you know? That's
Mhm.
how I felt it happened. You open to that possibility, you know?
Yeah. Well, also at that time, Webflow had just kind of like started that big boom. The initial like people were looking at it, so it was a very exciting company, I'm sure, to be at.
Oh yeah. Very very exciting. The whole time I was there, it's like getting bigger and bigger, and it was just new and exciting every month. And
Exactly.
plugging Webflow Conf, new and exciting. Oh my gosh. Like
Yeah.
I'm hyped for it. I hope you all are.
Yeah, we are super excited. I'm a little bit torn with like not being able to be in San Francisco since that one's the biggest one.
Oh yeah. Very very exciting. The whole time I was there, it's like getting bigger and bigger, and it was just new and exciting every month. And
Exactly.
plugging Webflow Conf, new and exciting. Oh my gosh. Like
Yeah.
I'm hyped for it. I hope you all are.
Yeah, we are super excited. I'm a little bit torn with like not being able to be in San Francisco since that one's the biggest one. But yeah, we're all hype. Okay,
Uh,
so we have like 7 minutes left. So anybody else has any other questions?
think yeah, I feel like the party's gonna be in London. Oh my gosh, FOMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Raymar is coming. Colleen is coming. All the London people will be here. I will be.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be very cool.
I'm only going to San Francisco. Sorry, Jeff. But like next year when I have more runway, and more time to plan. Yeah, most definitely. I want to hit up more cities if they do 4 cities again.
Yeah.
But yay, Christine's gonna be in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think all of them is going they're all going to be different. Like New
Oh
York is
yeah,
going to be cool. San Francisco is where every sort of like everybody will be. Then Chicago will be like the people from up north coming, all the folks from Canada like Penny, and I'm sure I don't know if Keith will be there also, but yeah, it'll be like very fun that as well.
yeah.
And then online, of course.
Of course, of course. And the speed build challenge. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, so what's happening with that?
It's still going. It's gonna be bittersweet because that's my last project with Webflow. So I'm part-time at Webflow finishing up this project. So at the end of Speed Build Challenge, after the champion is announced and crowned and given the trophy and whatnot, I will say my ending tagline. Thanks for making the web. Gosh, it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, so what's happening with that?
It's still going. It's gonna be bittersweet because that's my last project with Webflow. So I'm part-time at Webflow finishing up this project. So at the end of Speed Build Challenge, after the champion is announced and crowned and given the trophy and whatnot, I will say my ending tagline. Thanks for making the web beautiful together. See
Oh,
ya.
no,
That's it. That is it.
So emotional.
It's bittersweet. I guess this whole process, it's been bittersweet. From the beginning, I was like, we need to champion the community. We need to champion the community. We need to give the community the biggest stage possible. I was the first one who started the meetup. I had the first ever meetup, a Webflow meetup.
Yeah.
And
All right.
it's Yada is doing a great job with it. She made it the Global Leaders Program, and she is just flying with it. It's beautiful. Aaron has taken over the live streams, and he is doing a wonderful job teaching people in such a great, straightforward way. And then I've always said, like, the community website, like, we don't really have a community website. Why don't we have one? And Emily has pushed for all of these ideas that I've been wanting to do for the community for a long time. I was like the community needs like resources and they need to be celebrated. Why don't we do a podcast? And Matthew Munger is doing the Overflow podcast. Skylar has created a beautiful community website. And it's like all these things are happening. And it's like a proud father watching their kid go off to college. It's like, I can't hold on to this. It is not mine. It's never meant to be mine. It's supposed to be everyone else's. And I have to let it go. And that was the thing that was hurting my heart the most. Like, if I leave, like, that's it, but it's bittersweet. Life is supposed to be bittersweet. You're supposed to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And finally I did. And so much props to the community team for taking it and making it even better than I could ever imagine.
Yeah, I agree. Everything's looking now. You can actually see, okay, they're working towards community. I want to see more. Like, of course, now it's starting. It's a lot of work, but I'm waiting for more. Like, I just want more. I want more support. I want more like promotion for all of the communities. I hope that this turns into this like crazy community movement in a way.
Yeah.
Penny asks, I was surprised that you left Webflow before the Webflow cons. Was it hard to leave now since it's like a big event?
It hard in my heart, obviously, but logistically it wasn't too bad. Obviously I had to give some of the community management tasks over to my colleagues, but I think just the hardest one is the teardown of the studio. Like, my gosh, it's like that Will Smith gif, where he's looking at the house and it's like, that's it. So
no, it's John Travolta.
Well, John Travolta, yeah, but like there's Will Smith when he's leaving the house finally because like there's no furniture in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air house.
Oh, okay, yeah,
that one.
You went way back.
Oh yeah, I'm old.
Same.
I'm 41. There it is. Thank you, Chisom. That's me.
Jesus.
Biting my bottom lip, saying, "It's over." What a run! But I again appreciate you all so much for welcoming me back into the community. And I never think of myself as a leader. I just think of myself as a helper. So I'm glad to have helped you all, and I thank you all for helping me. And I think the last thing I want to say, before this minute is up, is I again appreciate you all so much for welcoming me back into the community. And I never think of myself as a leader. I just think of myself as a helper. So I'm glad to have helped you all, and I thank you all for helping me. And I think the last thing I want to say, before this minute is up, is I love this quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's when I reach for the edge of the universe, I do so knowing that along some paths of cosmic discovery, there are times when, at least for now, one must be content to love the questions themselves. So to me, that just means love the journey that you're on, love your fellow humans. And the hardest one to do, and it was the one that took me a long time to get to this point, is most importantly, this quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's when I reach for the edge of the universe, I do so knowing that along some paths of cosmic discovery, there are times when, at least for now, one must be content to love the questions themselves. So to me, that just means love the journey that you're on, love your fellow humans. And the hardest one to do, and it was the one that took me a long time to get to this point, is most importantly, love yourself.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Wait, I didn't time it correctly. Here we go. Well, thank you so much, Nelson. I don't know if you want to maybe share the Ophelia link if you have, because people are asking, they want to know what it is. So yeah.
Demo.
No, it's not ready for a demo. Oh my gosh. No, you want it is not ready for a demo. I still have some problems in Make, but hiophilia.com. I want to help as many people as possible, but I am only one human and I have a finite amount of time.
Yeah.
So how can I help humans help humans? And that's what this is. I see a lot of people in communities, a lot of people in Twitter, a lot of people on the Webflow forums asking, how do I do XYZ? I mean, they know how to do other things in Webflow, but then everyone's question is a little bit nuanced, a little bit unique. And general tutorials, my own YouTube videos, articles and whatnot, they kind of answer it. And I think we've all been there where you're like, I think this works. Wait, it's not working. Okay. How do I fix this? And so you need someone to actually help you. Maybe one-on-one or at least async in some way. And I've done it too, where I'm like, how do I do this? And I just straight up paid that person, like, thank you so much. Like, you got me through this roadblock. So how can a platform facilitate this?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, if you ever need help, I know Pierre just sent you a DM. And there's people in the Flow Party that I know Make. So if you need anything, just reach out.
Yeah, most definitely. But thank you for running this, Melissa, and I can't wait for your colors one because I went to Adobe Colors or something like that. I'm just randomly like, okay, what colors look cool? I don't know what to do, and so I just landed on something random.
Yeah. We're gonna be covering a lot of stuff. Make. So if you need anything, just reach out.
Yeah, most definitely. But thank you for running this, Melissa, and I can't wait for your colors one because I went to Adobe Colors or something like that. I'm just randomly like, okay, what colors look cool? I don't know what to do, and so I just landed on something random.
Yeah. We're gonna be covering a lot of stuff. Also, somebody asked the difference from RGB and CMYK, so I'll cover that as well. So yeah. It'll be very fun. So I'll see you next week. And thank you so much for coming. Now we'll leave you alone.
No, I'm stuck with you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Woo, bye.